Hello from a much cooler, mercifully, much cooler day. We've just been dropped off, well, about 2 miles back, sorry, I should say. We dropped off by Jim from Stanimals Hostel in Glasgow, Virginia. Had a really nice stay. Obviously, we had the whole impromptu, or not impromptu, unplanned 0 day to help Korik try and rest her hip. So she's all taped up now with KT tape and got a bunch of supplies of like heat pads and stuff like that you can apply to it. So it's still feeling a little uncomfortable, but much better than she was. So we're just starting out today, just see how far we go. There's a few different options. There's the shelter at like 10 miles, campsites after that. If we do go past that shelter though, it's a few miles past it is where the 800 mile mark is, so that's cool. But yeah, just starting our push towards Waynesboro now, and the beginning of Shenandoah National Park. So we need to get to Waynesboro by Wednesday night, because we have a family thing that we need to take like a 00 or 000 for, and we're getting picked up from Waynesboro, so we want to get there by Wednesday night to get picked up on Thursday, and then we're going to restart from there on Sunday. I think we'll get dropped back there on Saturday and then start again on Sunday, and then get into the Shenandoahs from there. But for now we've got about 65-70 miles or so before then, so just pushing on to see what we can get done. We'll be able to get to Waynesboro. It's just a matter of whether we get to the road crossing where it's like right there, or whether we have to pay for a sort of bit of, longer shuttle to get there. So we'll get there regardless. It's just more miles we do now just saves us a few dollars in shuttle fees at the end of it on Wednesday. So anyway, I'm going to continue with this 2 mile climb, and yeah, I'll let you know where we get up to. I'll keep this one short because we still want to get to our campsite for tonight, but 800 miles, that's quite scary. We're almost at 1,000. That's crazy. Yeah, we're just going to take some pictures and then get going. That's exciting. Alright, hi everyone. So,
Sorry.
we're about... I'm going to leave that in. We're about 5 miles into our day. So this is the shelter that we would have got to if we'd been able to push for the 20 miles yesterday, which, we just with Corrick's hip issues and stuff, she's feeling a lot better now. But obviously it's just, you don't want to start pushing if you're unsure if it's going to stay holding up or anything. So we stopped last night at the a little campsite by the creek, which was really nice. We set off from there this morning. We got here and we've got a nice big climb ahead of us, but we're going to try and get another 20-mile day in today. So it's only about 10 o'clock now, and there's about 15 miles to go to another shelter. So we've got a big climb up now, but then we're kind of on the ridge for the rest of it, so it should be doable. There's a lot of people in Far Out complaining about this climb and it takes forever, so we'll see. But yeah, we just stopped here for a quick break, get some more water, use the privy, and yeah, we're getting going now. And we've got our earbuds in, so I've got one in, Corrick's got the other, so we're listening to our audiobooks. We're listening to, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, getting some classic sci-fi in, so we've got about 7 hours of the audiobook left. If we just listened to this on, we'd probably finish it today. Oh, she's getting attacked by a spider. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. I will try and be brief, because it seems like there's a slight let up in the rain. So it's about 7:30. We have about a mile to go to the shelter, which I am desperately hoping there is space at. But the last 4 hours have been constant thunderstorms and rain, so like everything is wet. Everything's soaked through. Hopefully the contents of my bag, with the various bin bags and dry bags I've got in there, hopefully I can actually have a dry night's sleep. But everything now on the outside, at least, is all very soggy. Yeah, this will actually, once we get to the shelter, this will be our third 20+ mile day. And I know it's chucking it down and it's cold and wet and stuff, but I feel a lot better. I mean, if you remember the state I was in after my first 20-mile day, like, I feel a lot better than that. So yeah, anyway, let's all just cross our fingers and hope for the space at the shelter. Alright, see you there. Alright, hello. Bit of an odd one today. So we did the 20 miles yesterday, and we're doing really well with it and stuff. I was feeling fine. Corrick's leg was giving, or hip, sorry, was giving her a bit of grief, but it was manageable until like pretty much we were right there at the shelter, and we got here. Obviously the rain stopped just as soon as we got here, of course it did, but the shelter was full, so we had to pitch. We could only, in the dark as well, we could only see the one spot for pitching a tent, so we did that. So we've had to share a tent, which isn't the most comfortable setup, but yeah, Corric's just really not feeling up to hiking today because of her leg, or a hip. I keep saying leg, but you know, we get the idea. Hopefully, was to get to a road crossing, or at least start. So the Blue Ridge Parkway. We've been going alongside it or near in its vicinity for a while now, and we've been away from it for a little bit, and then in about 20 or so, 22-ish miles, we sort of rejoin up with it, and it sort of goes parallel to the trail again. So what we were hoping to do is today and tomorrow combined, do at least a minimum combined of 22 miles, possibly even up to 30 or 40. Because that way we're sort of right next to a whole host of road crossings where we could get a shuttle to the hostel in Waynesboro, where Corric's parents would pick us up for then our 3-day break for this family event. So unfortunately, because her hip is giving her such pain, we're not going to be able to make that now. So the options we've got were like a 6-mile hike to a dirt road where it's a very expensive shuttle to get taken into town to stay tonight. But what we're going to do, just to try and save a bit of cash, is we're going to zero here at the shelter today. So we've got food and water still, obviously, so we're fine, but we're basically going to zero here today, and then get the expensive shuttle and stay in the hostel tomorrow night. So basically just saving ourselves a bit of cash by zeroing here instead of the hostel. So I'll have a little bit of hiking to do tomorrow to get to the road crossing, but hopefully Corric should feel up for that after resting it today. So yeah, anyway. Shelter's empty, but I'm probably going to stay in my tent because there's bugs everywhere, crawling all over the mesh. So the moment I open this, they're just going to eat me alive. So I'll probably just stay in my tent for today. But yeah, it's supposed to be sunny and dry today at least, so we can dry out some of our clothes that got absolutely soaked yesterday. So anyway, all right. I don't know if I'll have any B-roll from today, really. We're just going to be sat around, but anyway, I'll catch you later. Right, so, fairly substantial update. As you can see, I'm not in my tent. I'm in fact fully kitted out for hiking. So, the plan originally, as I said very quickly, was to stay at the shelter, walk a couple of miles tomorrow after resting, to get the shuttle to the hostel and get picked up from there on the way to the family do that we're going to in Nashville. So the plan now is that Corric's mum has very kindly offered to come drive 3 hours to come pick us up and take us back today, back to DC, and then basically saving us a night in the hostel costs and the shuttle. So we'll basically have some point late tonight, we'll be back in DC, have a 0-day tomorrow to rest before doing the trip we were going to do anyway to Nashville, and then we'll get dropped off on the way back on Saturday at the hostel and get back on trail on Sunday. So we've got 3 days off that we knew we were going to do anyway, and one more day off, unplanned one tomorrow. But today we're just walking I think it's like 10 or 11 miles to a road crossing where we can get picked up. So we've left pretty early. It's like 11 o'clock, but Corrick's mum's probably not going to be here for 8 or 9 hours because she's got work. So we're going to have plenty of time to take it slow.
Oh, look at that one.
Ah, what's this? We're just stopping to admire some wildlife. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so we're gonna take it slow, make sure Corrick's hip's still feeling okay, take our time. But yeah, it hopefully should be a fairly nice day, so at least we'll be able to see some of the views from a mountain called the Priest. I think the mountaintop is called the Priest anyway, which supposedly has good views. There's also the Priest Shelter, which has a lot. Well, all the trails, all the shelters have a logbook, so you can record who was there and when you pass through, so you can keep an eye on where your friends are up to. But also in the Priest one, people write all their confessions. So I've got to think of one to write in there and beg for forgiveness. So I'll catch you up there. Alright, so we just got to the Priest Shelter. So we're just having a quick break before starting the big descent down to the road crossing. But we're just having a read through some of the confessions that people have put in the book.
Okay. Let me start with this book. This one has some gems. I confess that I walked part of the Virginia Creeper Trail instead of the AT proper, and also part of the Blue Ridge Parkway, where Jesus rewarded me for my sin by sending fresh grounds to feed me. Lol, would do it again.
To be fair, we kind of did that as well.
Yeah. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I took toilet paper from a gas station when it specifically asked me not to. Similarly, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I lost my spork and then took a fork from a hostel to replace it. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I dug but missed 2 cat holes. I covered the evidence with my leaves. Yeah.
There's some good ones in there. Mm-hmm. We just need to write ours so we can have eternal forgiveness, and then we'll get going. But yeah. It's not overly hot day, but it's just like, I think the humidity is like 95% or something, so it's like you just take a few steps and immediately just like my hair's like, it's just soaking wet from just walking. Anyway, all right, we're just gonna spend a few more minutes here and then get going. Hello. I don't know whether this will be a new start of a new video or whatever, but I'm so behind on my editing that I'm not entirely sure what what other footage I've got that would make a full video, but we'll see. So we are, as you can see, back on trail. So we stayed at Stanimals in Waynesboro last night, and we just got dropped off at the Tye River Bridge, Tye River crossing, where Corrick's mum came and evacuated us a few days ago. So obviously we're starting back where we started, back where we left off, and yeah, just hoping to and take it easy on these first few days back on trail. Good news, I think my legs still remember how to walk with trekking poles and stuff, so that's good. One weekend, or maybe like 3 or 4 days of no hiking and still eating like I'm still suffering with hiker hunger. I weighed myself and I've put on about 8 or 9 pounds from the last time I did. So yeah, the hiker hunger is very dangerous if you're not actually hiking. But anyway, for today we've decided to start nice and easy with a 3,000 foot climb right away. It may not be the smartest move, but it's obviously where we dropped off the other day, so that's kind of where we've got to go from. But we've had a lot of steep climbs, tall climbs, but I think this is the first where there's like a full 3,000 foot elevation gain. I think it's over like 5 miles or something, but it is pretty substantial. So I think all the other climbs we've done, even up to like 6,000 feet, they've kind of been gradual or sharp, like 1,000, 2,000 foot climbs. So this is the first 3,000 foot in one single ascent. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, hoping we're about 30 miles from Rockfish Gap, which is at the southern end of the Shenandoah National Park, and is a big road crossing near Waynesboro. So what we might do is just take the 2 or 3 days to get from here to Rockfish Gap, and we might stay at Stanimals again on Monday, and do a full resupply before heading into Shenandoah. So we've just got to see how the next few days go, I guess. Good evening. Just a quick update. We've gone past a few campsites that already had people in them, so we had to keep pushing sort of further than we really wanted to. Just we're both very tired, and obviously Corrick wants to make sure our hip's okay and not push too hard on the first day back on trail. But we found a spot along the cliffs where, I don't know if that's going to focus ever, but oh, there we go. we just found a spot with the most incredible view of the sunset, so we're just going to enjoy that. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow. Hello. Right, we are heading down into Waynesboro again. Stay at Stanimals for another night. But just with the pain that Corric's had in her hip, we're just taking it a bit easier, so we're walking along Blue Ridge Parkway again. So again, trail is sort of over there somewhere in the trees, but we're basically walking on the parkway because we actually have a view rather than just seeing inside the tree line. It does also save us a couple of miles, and means that if we do need to stop for any reason, we are at least on the trail. Sorry, not on the trail, on the road, so the hostel can come pick us up at any point, basically. So, you know, the parkway has, between here and the road crossing where we're getting picked up near Waynesboro, the parkway has about 400 feet of elevation gain and then like 1900 descent, and in the same distance the actual trail manages to pack in 2,500 feet of ascent and 3,500 feet of descent. Somehow it just they just pick all these tiny little ridges and hills next to the road to go up and over, so we're making it easier on, you know, on any ailments we're carrying just for now while we're getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, just gonna keep walking and we'll show you the views that you can't really get from parts of the trail.